Welcome to my top 5 tips for starting a brand new character in World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria. Thank you for watching, subscribe, rate, and comment, and let's just jump right into these tips. Thank you for watching. Number 1. My first tip for creating a brand new character is picking a race, class, and setup that best suits you. Now I'm going to run through each class and each race to give you the best, my opinion, the best traits for each one of them. Alright, so let's start off with the classes. Warrior. Okay, the name pretty much explains itself. I mean, a warrior is somebody who uses large weapons and shields to rush in and distract and basically just get the attention of the enemies. Next, Paladin. Paladins can be healers or tanks. A tank, I should probably say this first, a tank is the person who is distracting the enemy and doing not necessarily the most damage, but definitely doing taunts and things to keep the focus on them while the other teammates are doing the damage. Paladins, they can be healers or tanks. They can be DPS as well, but if you're going to be a paladin, I would, in my opinion, paladins are good for doing healing and tanking, obviously, as I said previously. Tanks, they are probably your best choice for when you're a paladin, because there are so many other classes that you can be in order to heal. Paladins, they're healing or tank mainly. Hunters do, last time I checked anyways, they do one of the most damages out of all the other DPS classes. This is a DPS class, and DPS stands for damage per second. Now, the reason why they do some of the most DPS is because their bows are extremely fast, and not only that, but their skills allow you to shoot even faster than the bow itself. For instance, if you shoot an arrow, you can shoot a skill arrow, which will eliminate the time in between reloading your arrow and shooting another one. And also, they have a pet. Now, pets also have their own little class system that allow you to pick a tank or a DPS. And now, bears and things of that sort, large pets, triceratopses, I think that's new in Pandaria, those are all tanks. However, wolves, spiders, dogs, things like that, they do DPS damage and they hit extremely fast. So if you want to do as much damage as possible, you're going to want to get your hands on a wolf or a dog or some sort of cat. It doesn't matter. Now, rogues. I consider rogues a special class. They turn invisible, they pickpocket, and they do stuns. Stuns are used for when, let's say, there's a large group of enemies and you need to take them out, but you don't want to be overran. Now, rogue, what he can do is he can go behind certain targets. I think it's humanoids and undead, maybe. Anyways, they can go behind the targets and they can stun them for, I'm not actually sure how long it is, actually. I've never actually played rogue, but I know that they're good for stuns, and they do high DPS considering that they dual wield weapons and they hit extremely fast. Priests, they heal mainly. They've also got a shadow spec, which allows them to do more of the DPS side of things. But I feel, in my opinion, I feel as though if you're going to be a priest, just be a healer, because priests are top-notch healers. They can heal massive amounts of damage. And, in a way, they're kind of invincible because they can heal themselves, they can bubble themselves, and they can do DPS all at the same time. So if you're into that, you should pick a priest. Now, humans can't be shamans and druids. I'll go into that later. Mages, they are DPS class. They can do arcane fire and frost damage. Arcane damage is for, like, time manipulations and illusion. Now, whenever I play a mage, like I have a mage, He used to be arcane, but I think since the latest patch they've kind of downed the arcane. Either that or I'm just not playing it right. Anyways, the arcane has an arcane blast, I think. What is it called? It's like a burst of arcane that recharges like almost instantaneously, which just does a massive amount of damage. And then it's got arcane missiles, which shoot extremely fast and deal high amounts of damage. Now pyro is more for the PvP side, and it leaves burning effects on enemies, and it does DPS over time. It's called a dot, damage over time, I think that's what it means. But it just keeps the fire going and going. And frost is for slowing down your enemies and doing a high amount, or not necessarily a high amount of DPS, but it does a lot of DPS. Anyways, warlock has the ability to summon pets, not necessarily pets, but demons. But demons are things that they can achieve through leveling up in their skill books. I don't have a lot of experience with these. I just know that they have the ability to, this is from my knowledge anyways, they have the ability to summon an imp, voidwalker, succubus, felguard, a demon hunter, and that's all I have to my knowledge right now because I never actually played warlock. But warlocks, they have curses and they have immolation, which immolation is like what I said previously with the mages. The pyro effect, it just keeps doing damage over time, which that's what the warlock is mainly about. It does damage over time with its curses and its poisons and all that stuff. But if you're looking for maybe a more casual side of DPS, you would pick a warlock. A monk. This is new to Pandaria. I maybe played one to level 10. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not into the monk per se, but I know that the monk is an excellent healer. It does magnificent amounts of healing, and it's also a very good tank because it has the brewmaster skill tree, and you could throw a keg at enemies and it does like an area damage thing, and it lures a group of enemies to you, and you can keep your aggro very, very high as a brewmaster. Now the windwalker, I don't know too much about that. I just know that monks hit extremely fast, and they could take down basically anything. I've seen monks take down so much stuff just by themselves. Granted, most of them had heirlooms, which are like, I don't know, they're kind of like modded out gear, just not to an extreme extent. I'll get into that maybe in a later video. Death Knights. Death Knights are new. They're not new. They were new in Wrath of the Lich King. Their skill trees include Blood, Frost, and Unholy. They use skills controlled by runes, which there's 6 runes, and there's 2 of each. And what it does is it uses up a rune every time you use an attack, and it also gains you runic power, which runic power allows you to cast high damage, sometimes healing abilities. And if you're looking for a fantastic tank, this class is amazing for tanking. If you're going to be a tank, I would choose Blood. Blood aspect increases your aggro and it increases your ability to tank effectively. Now, I don't really like Death Knights, but if you're the kind of person that really likes the lore side of things, this is a great character. Alright, let's get into the other ones. Shaman. Let's go with the warfare here. Okay, Shamans. Shamani. Anyways, Shaman have the ability to summon totems that they can stun the enemy, they can shoot fireballs, they can heal you, they can send shock waves, they can ground enemies, they can do all these things. And which is why, in my opinion, Shaman is one of the most overpowered classes in the game. They can heal. They can't, I mean, they probably can tank. Actually, I know for a fact they can tank, but it's not one of the options in the game. Shamans, they're fabulous with fist weapons and staves. They wear leather. I don't know why I just said that, but they wear leather armor, and they cast spells, and they have the ability to heal. This is the only class that I've gotten to level 85 pre-MOP. So, in my opinion, the Shaman is a fantastic class. They have the ability to resurrect themselves after they die, and it's just a really, really overpowered class. Okay, let's jump into Druid now. Druid is a special class. Druid has the ability to heal, tank, and DPS, much like the Paladin, except the Druid uses animal shapeshift forms in order to do its work. There's cat form, there's bear form, there's aquatic form, there's travel form, there's moonkin form, there's tree of life form. I don't know if it's called that anymore, but that's what it used to be called. And there is flight form. This class is, in my opinion, the most fantastic class in the entire game. No other class has the abilities that the Druid does. The Druid is really cool. What you can do is when you shapeshift, it coordinates itself with the color of your skin and hair, which you can change the color of your hair, but you can't change the color of your skin, which is really cool in my opinion, because sometimes I'm very indecisive and I make a lot of alternate characters that I never actually use. I just delete them and blah 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 blah. But still, this class is amazing if you are into tanking, DPS, and healing. And what you can do is you can change it anytime you want. And that's what I think makes the Druids so fantastic. Now let's go into races. Okay, the humans are very, very, very good with mage powers and warrior powers and paladin powers. That's what I've experienced. They are good with warriors, paladins, and mages. I'm going to try to get through this really, really quickly. Dwarfs, they're very good hunters, and they're very good paladins. Again, this is from my experiences. Those are my opinions. The night elf, hunters, and not monks, hunters and druids. They are fantastic at both. Gnomes are fantastic rogues because of their small size, and they are fantastic warlocks. Draenei, they are not very good warriors. They're good mages, shamans, priests, and think monks. Worgen, they are fantastic druids. They are amazing priests, and I've seen them as very, very successful rogues. Pandaren. The thing about Pandarans, I think they're good with every single class. I've tried them with every single class, and I've been successful with every single class. Orcs. Fantastic, fantastic warriors. Great shamans, and amazing warlocks. Undead. They are great rogues, priests, and warlocks. Tauren. Warriors, paladins, and hunters. They're pretty good shamans. I don't really like the Tauren shaman though. Trolls, hunters, priests, shaman, and druid. No, not druid. I guess druid. Blood elf. They're excellent paladins, hunters, rogues, priests, mages, warlocks, and monks. Last but not least, goblins. They are good at shamanation, hunting, being rogues, because like the gnome, they're very small. And they're good at mages, or warlocks and mages. Alright guys, that is my full class and character run through. Let's get to tip 2. Numero 2. Alright guys, step number 2 for creating a new character. What you're going to want to do is, when you start up your brand new character, go into the game menu, go into interface, and customize your interface to your liking. What I like to do is I like to take on auto loot, because it gives you a lot more money, because you end up looting a lot more things. Now under combat, I don't like to mess with these a lot, but what it does, it can change your lag tolerance, show spell alerts, and target targets, and things of that sort. This display, it's more of an aesthetic thing. It shows your bag's free space in the bottom right corner right there, 15. It doesn't say it anymore. Okay. Cinematic subtitles, it's more for watching little movies in the game. Show cloak and helm. These are the most used in here from my knowledge. What it does is it hides your cloak, which is your cape, or your helm, which is your headpiece. Objectives. Automatic quest tracking. That means it automatically tracks any quest that you have. Quest difficulty color. Turn that on because it lets you know what kind of difficulty it's going to be under. The social thing, it filters your chat box, just filters things like mature language and all those other things. Action bars. These are this is probably the most used from me. What it does is it takes these this space right here, and it turns it into places for your abilities, such as right there. I like to keep mine hidden just because there's not ugly boxes all over the place, but that's alright. Names, it shows your names of anything, such as yourself and other things. Floating combat text, it tells you when you hit an enemy, it shows you how much damage you do and things like that. Status text, don't really mess with that, but it shows you how much health you have and how much experience you have and things like that. You can change the numeric value, percentage, or both. And unit frames, that just like the little boxes of information in the top right corner. Raid profiles, there's a little box right here when you're in a raid, and it shows everybody that's in your raid. Buffs and debuffs, top right corner right here where my mouse is. Battle.net, that is your friends list, such as the real ID people. The camera, that's pretty self-explanatory. The mouse, also self-explanatory. And this is a help thing that lets you disable tutorials and enhance tooltips. Let's get on to step 3. This is number 3! Y'all heard? Step 3. I'm using the humans as an example. What you're going to want to do, and this is all my opinion once again, is start the very first quest. Now what you're going to want to do is go up to the mob that has been selected, kill the desired amount, such as I'm doing right now. And what you're going to want to do after you finish all that is go into the little higher level enemies. And what you're going to want to do is grind a few levels. I know that sounds a little tedious, but trust me, it's worth it. If you grind a few levels before you start doing all the quests will go by so much faster, and you'll have a lot more power, and you will have a very slim chance of dying. Alright, let's get into step. My voice cut out, but this is step 4. That's 4. Alright, step 4. When you create a new character, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find rare mobs, such as Fat Candle, something similar to that. He usually stands right about here. And what rares will do is they will give you about the amount of XP that you would get from a small quest or doing a random. Nah, maybe not as much, but what rares will do is they will drop not necessarily a rare item, but it will drop at least a green, and it will give you a ton of XP. So go hunting for those rares, guys. Dun 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 dun. Step number 5. Alright, step 5. I have squandered the wasteland for this shed fur and this rabbit's foot. Step 5 is essentially loot every single thing that you can possibly kill when you're doing the beginning quests. And then when you're full up on your inventory or getting full up, what you want to do is go over to a vendor and do exactly what I just did. And what that will do is that will create a massive amount of money for you over time, and not necessarily right now because it only gives you about 1 copper per items. But still, 1 copper per item when you kill 1,000 whatever it was, and that adds up to a lot. I mean, if you're doing these quests anyways, why not loot what you kill? And eventually you'll get some gold. You get thousands of gold. And when you're in a higher level, still loot every single thing. Obviously, obviously you want to save room for the more important things like quest items and such, but still loot every single thing you kill, and you will get a massive amount of money. Thank you for watching my video. I want you to rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel.